All right, let's talk about construction sites. Specifically, we're going to demystify two of the most critical documents out there. Seriously, these things are the unsung heroes that bring order to all that chaos, and you absolutely have to understand them for a project to succeed. So, let's jump right in. So, let me ask you this. You're in the middle of a huge, fast-moving build. How do you stop a simple instruction like, hey, move that wall 6 inches to the left, from spiraling into a million-dollar mistake? I mean, really think about that for a second.
Well, the answer, thankfully, is actually pretty simple. It all comes down to getting a handle on two specific, really powerful documents. They're designed to stop exactly that kind of chaos in its tracks.
Okay, just picture a typical construction site, right? It's loud, it's hectic, and you've got to make decisions like right now. A quick verbal go-ahead from an engineer to a contractor seems super efficient at the moment, but here's the thing. Without a paper trail, that conversation, it's a massive risk just waiting to blow up. And that is where our two heroes come marching in. The site instruction, you'll hear it called an SI, and the confirmation of verbal instruction, or CVI. These are your go-to tools for creating clarity, accountability, and a rock-solid record of every single decision made. So first up, let's talk about the site instruction. The best way to think of the SI is as your proactive tool. It's a formal, written order from the consultant, the architect or engineer, telling the contractor to do something specific. It's an official directive, not a friendly suggestion. Then, on the flip side, you've got the CVI. This is more of your reactive tool. Its whole job is to capture an instruction that was already given out loud. The CVI basically turns a quick, hey, do this conversation on site into an official signed-off record. Why? To stop any arguments before they can even start.
Okay, so let's get practical. We're going to start by diving deep into the site instruction and see exactly when and how you actually use it on a project.
So the big question is, right, when do you actually need an official SI? It's not for every tiny little thing, but it is absolutely crucial for certain kinds of changes. You're typically going to issue an SI for stuff like, say, moving a non-structural wall before it's all finished, or maybe adding or just tweaking the openings for doors and windows. It could even be for changing the route for some ductwork or wiring before it's all installed. The key here is that these are pretty minor adjustments and clarifications that don't immediately mess with the project's cost or the schedule. And that right there, that's the whole point of the SI. It's all about timing. You issue it to get ahead of a problem, to document a minor change before it has a chance to turn into expensive rework or painful delays. Think of it like preventative medicine for your project.
All right, now let's switch gears to the CVI. It actually builds on that exact same idea of clear documentation, but it's used in a slightly different situation.
So you might be thinking, if things are moving so fast, why would you bother with more paperwork? When the clock is ticking and everyone's under pressure, why is taking the time to issue a CVI so absolutely critical?
Simple. Because it's a shield. The CVI is the contractor's proof, their backup. It confirms, hey, you told me to do this on this date, and it gets the consultant's official sign-off. It just completely eliminates any future he said, she said drama about what was agreed upon in the heat of the moment. And you can bet this is vital during the most frantic parts of the build. When walls are being framed out, when all that complex MEP stuff is being routed, or, and this is a big one, right before the drywall goes up and covers everything. Those are the moments where a quick verbal instruction is super common, and getting a CDI is totally non-negotiable.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's pretty simple, really. On a construction site, documentation is king, period. Because the cost of a simple miscommunication is just way, way too high.
And you can see the key difference right here. The SI is proactive. It's a formal direction you issue before the work gets done. The CVI, on the other hand, is reactive. It's a confirmation you issue after a verbal instruction, just to get it on the record. So a simple way to remember it, an SI starts the instruction while a CVI captures the conversation. Now, here's the crucial point, so listen up. It does not matter which one you fail to use, whether you skip an SI when you need one, or you forget to issue a CVI after a chat. You are opening your project up to the exact same, very serious risks. And what are those risks? Oh, you know them. They're the 3 things that keep project managers up at night. Having to tear out perfectly good finished work, facing major delays that throw the entire schedule off track, and of course, watching your budget just explode. Look, at the end of the day, this isn't about pointing fingers or playing the blame game. It's about protection for everyone. Early and accurate documentation with SIs and CVIs protects the consultant from unapproved changes, it protects the contractor from unfair claims, and most importantly, it protects the health and success of the entire project.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to really think about. Doesn't matter if you're an architect, an engineer, or a contractor out on the site, what's the one conversation, the one verbal agreement on your project right now that needs to be put on paper?